Hi, I'm Jacob Terrell, and I'm going to give you kind of a simulation, if you will, of how we would operate during severe storms, whether it be just a isolated severe storm or two, or a major severe weather outbreak across the area. First off, what I'm going to do is show you the counties that we really monitor in-depthly. I mean, we track severe storms all over the nation, but there's a certain limit of counties that we would actually track and monitor in-depthly and keep a close eye on, like as if we were the National Weather Service ourselves. And that would be all the counties here in the National Weather Service in Indianapolis area, but also Wayne, Franklin, Fayette, Union, and Ripley counties, right down there, this area, and then also Grant, Blackford, and Grant counties right there. And so, keep an eye on all the counties in the National Weather Service Indianapolis area, but also those counties that I mentioned. So let's say we got up here in the morning. We check the first thing we do if we were expecting severe weather. We probably check the severe weather outlook and see what it was showing us. Like, let's say we had a risk of severe weather for not the entire area, but like all these counties right down here. Let's say our broadcast area, by the way, our headquarters, our actual weather center is right here in Morgan County. But let's say the severe threat today was out across these counties. So it didn't include our actual weather forecast office, but it included those counties out there. And so we would want to be watching those counties very closely, and also, well, actually, the whole entire area for severe weather development. So let's say we would be monitoring the atmospheric conditions using our weather station. We'd be constantly looking at Doppler radar for storm development. We'd be kind of keeping an eye on the media, what they were saying, what the National Weather Service would be telling us. We would be checking their hazardous weather outlook. We'd be checking the dynamics in the atmosphere and see how favorable it would be for severe storm development. So let's say that we got what we call mesoscale discussion here earlier on in the afternoon. Basically, that indicates that's issued by the Storm Prediction Center for an area that they're monitoring for the severe storm development, and where they might actually put out a severe thunderstorm or tornado watch. So let's say we got a mesoscale discussion. This is, like I said, simulation, so this is based on an actual event that occurred. Let's say we got a mesoscale discussion. As you can see, it would include parts of our area right in here. Then they're saying severe threat, increasing severe threat this afternoon. Let's see what they would be saying. And they said something like this. Developing storms should continue to intensify this afternoon and would likely require watch issuance. We'd also read what they'd put down here in the bulletin, what they'd be saying about the ingredients in the atmosphere. So we then start preparing for the possibility of a watch, and we'd be monitoring the Storm Prediction Center real closely. And so let's say a watch did come out. Now notice, like I said, the watch doesn't include, I didn't say this, but the watch doesn't include our actual broadcast area, our actual headquarters, our actual weather center. I don't know how well you can see, but it does include these counties right down here. So we got an idea there that most of the severe weather action and all that is going to be to our east and southeast. And so we'd be monitoring every area, but we'd be especially paying close attention to those counties right down there in that area, right around here where the watch is for severe storm development. And what we'd be doing, we'd be watching the Doppler radar, we'd be checking the storm relative velocity for what do you call it? Slips my mind at the time, tornadoes. We'd be checking for rotation. We'd be watching for hail. We'd be watching the base velocity for damaging winds. We'd be keeping up to date with our weather radios from any warnings that were issued by the National Weather Service. We might even be out there in the field actually observing the severe storms as they were occurring. We also have that amateur radio scanner that would allow us to listen to amateur radio operators in that area. So there'd be a lot that we'd be doing here. We'd be constantly looking at the radar, and we'd also be constantly updating our people on Facebook and advising them. Even though a lot of them are in the Mooresville area, we'd be advising people that are east of Mooresville, where the watch is, of severe weather that might be heading their way, and updating them of any warnings or watches on our Storm Drake weather chat page. And we'd be also using the Storm Drake weather chat to talk about the severe weather that would be occurring. And so when warnings were issued, we'd be monitoring the amateur radio guys. We'd be looking at for any reports of severe weather, and also be watching the storms constantly on Doppler radar. And we'd be monitoring the environment, probably might be checking the barometric pressure and seeing what's going on there, what the overall conditions are. And we would be monitoring. We might be looking at the radar and also looking at the atmospheric conditions, so we know what to expect as the storms continue to push off the east. Now, in the event of a major severe weather outbreak, like if all these counties were, let's say, under a tornado watch, we'd be constantly monitoring all these areas for severe thunderstorm development, possible tornadoes, possible, if there was a particularly dangerous situation, severe thunderstorm watch would be monitoring for possible strong tornadoes. And so we would be just looking at the radar constantly. It'd be one heck of a day for us in the forecast center, in the Terrell Severe Storm Center. So that's just kind of a simulation of how we would operate during severe storm operations. Thank you for watching this video.